Hi, I'm Matsu Anderson. Welcome to Question and Answer. Tonight we're going to cover some subjects that are of universal interest. Stress, for one. How stress from work, family relationships, even school programs can manifest itself into physical problems. We're also going to be discussing the effects of working under fluorescent lights and at computer terminals, as well as coming up with some advice for sufferers of chronic fatigue syndrome. You guessed it, the medical questions are pouring in. So we're going to try to catch up with the health show. The two Q&A experts on hand to field those questions are Doctors Carolyn Dean and Yvonne Kaysen. Now, Carolyn, we're already getting a lot of viewers calling in saying they're very sorry you're leaving the show. You have to explain to them that you are not leaving the show.
Right. I'll be in Manhattan in New York for a year doing clinical research on AIDS using nutrition, homeopathy, and acupuncture. And I'll certainly be able to fly up and do tapings. I love giving out the information. It's very important. I'd like to do it in a more scientific way, but the only option I have in Ontario is doing it on Q&A.
Well, I'm glad we're not going to be losing you. Yvonne, one of the most fascinating questions we've had on all the shows to date is about a near-death experience.
Mm-hmm.
I've given this a lot of thought merely because one of my family members has had one. I haven't talked about it for years, so I want to know, is this a common question you're getting now?
It sure is, Matsu. I myself had a near-death experience 12 years ago, and since then I've been doing research into near-death experiences and other types of mystical experiences brought on by yoga or meditation, and I've been counseling a lot of people who've had near-death experiences. As many as 1 in 3 who are resuscitated have had a near-death experience.
Well, that's fabulous. I can hardly wait till we get to that segment of the show. But now, let's get down to business, your questions and our answers. First off, we have a video letter from a woman in Thunder Bay.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Kim. I'm from Thunder Bay, and I have a medical question. Whenever I'm sitting under fluorescent lights, I have a hard time to keep my eyes open. And I don't think it's related to whether I'm tired or whether I'm interested or not interested. It seems to be a physical reaction. And my question is, why does this happen? And should it be a big deal concern? It's just simply a nuisance, and it's quite a struggle, actually. Thank you.
Yvonne, you start with this one.
Well, Elizabeth, it is a problem with fluorescent lights. We do know from scientific studies that people who work under fluorescent lights are more likely to be irritable and tired and feeling stressed out by the end of the day. So you're not imagining this. Studies have shown it. But it's not actually what the lights are doing to you, it's what they're not doing to you, because your body needs natural sunlight. The effect of natural sunlight is very important for you. So what you should do if you have to work under fluorescent lights is try and get your desk close to a window so you can get some natural light during the day. Keep curtains open and windows, blinds and drapes open as much as you can. Go out during your lunch hour so you can get some natural daylight. And all of this will help you get less bothered by the fluorescent lights. The other thing you can do is they do have some light bulbs now that you can get for fluorescent lamps that have more close to natural light. They are more expensive, but it might be worth it.
Well, we have Elizabeth on the line. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome to Question and Answer.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Do you have any questions for either of our doctors?
Well, I appreciate their answers. I still don't understand why my eyes actually close, like why I can't hold them open. I understand the need for natural light, and their points are well taken.
Well, part of the problem may be you may actually have a condition with your eyes called dry eye syndrome. A lot of people have this, and fluorescent lights make it worse. You might find that you need to use some eye drops. They're moisturizing eye drops. They're called Tears Naturel or something like that. And
actually, that's very interesting because I know for a fact that my eyes do not produce enough tears. I had to stop wearing contact lenses for that reason, but I never connected this.
Well, that's exactly what's causing the problem. So use your drops.
Right.
And apart from the drops, Carolyn, is there anything we can do if we know when I get into those situations where you have to go into a meeting and have them under those awful lights?
I checked my reference book on this and clinical influences on illness, and I couldn't find anything that you can take. And as Yvonne said, I think people just have to use fluorescent full spectrum lights instead of the normal tubes.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for sending in the video, Elizabeth. Now,
Thank you.
out of curiosity, do you know Bonnie Smith?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, she works in the other home for the aged over at in Fort William.
She does. Well, stay tuned. She's going to be on the show later on.
Isn't that amazing?
Isn't that amazing? Okay, thanks for calling in.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Our next question comes from a long letter faxed to us by Naveen Chandra of Etobicoke. Now, on a particularly hot and muggy day this past summer, he suffered a heart attack. He doesn't drink or smoke, and there had been no sign of cholesterol problems. A stress test was done, and it proved to be normal, so there seemed to be no medical reason for the heart attack. At 49, he seems to feel normal, although he says he tires sooner than he did in the past. He's worried that he's going to have another heart attack soon without warning. He's currently unemployed, and although he holds a PhD and is worried about supporting his family, he asks, how should I deal with the stress of my situation? So, Carolyn, what can Naveen do?
Well, certainly stress can influence heart disease. The reasons there are the adrenal glands that produce adrenaline or epinephrine can increase the workload on the heart, increase the blood pressure and the heart rate, therefore puts the heart under strain. Also, under stress, magnesium can become deficient. Many of the drugs today are calcium channel blockers, and the best calcium channel blocker is magnesium. So I think more research is being done on this. When people are under stress, they tend to drink more coffee and tea, smoke, take alcohol. And these are exactly the things to avoid when you're under stress and when you want to protect your heart. A lot of research now is done on diet for heart disease. And people, when they're under stress, don't eat properly. A more vegetarian diet is important. We can't really do that so much in Canada, so I'd say free-range chicken and fish, as well as your grains and legumes and nuts and seeds. Now, to de-stress, there are relaxation classes that actually are covered by OHIP. Yoga, Tai Chi, meditation techniques like Silva method are very important. I'd like to give everybody a prescription for $1 million so that they didn't have financial stress, but this is the best we can do, is give advice on how to prevent and how to take care of your body.
Okay, now, I am one of those shining examples of somebody who does do all the wrong things when you're under stress. Apart from eating the right foods, what can I do for the immediate problem of stress?
Meditation, really calming yourself. Go home from work and take a herb tea and listen to some good music, because when you have this adrenaline overload coming, you have to balance it with rest and relaxation. What we call the parasympathetic nervous system has to be stimulated to balance out the fight or flight mechanisms. So you really have to practice calming down.
Okay, I could practice calming and relaxing.
I'd agree with that, but I'd just like to add that another thing that's really excellent if you're very stressed out is some physical exercise. That's a stress releaser.
Okay, so, that's a whole other show, Yvonne. We'll leave that one where it is right now.
But for anyone who's under a lot of stress, in addition to trying to have time to calm and center, which I agree, meditation is very, very helpful, and calm music. But exercise is a good way to vent that frustration. I swim and just pound it out on the water.
Okay, I'll start swimming instead of pounding it out on my husband. We have another stress-related question, but with a twist. Eileen Carrier of Mississauga has directed this one to you, Yvonne, because it has a lot to do with pressure and how parents can help their kids cope. Now, Eileen writes, my son has been assessed as a gifted child. Do you feel this type of child has to deal with more stress than the average child? And if so, in what particular areas?
Okay.